Welcome to Season 3 of John McGivern's Main Streets.
Okay, another day and another dream come true.
The Main Streets podcast takes you behind the scenes of this popular TV program. As we explore great communities across the Midwest on the show each week, you can come here to get the inside scoop from host John and Emmy and the Main Streets producer and director Lois. Listen in as they recount some of their favorite memories from filming and the interesting stories that you won't find anywhere else. We've got lots to share with you from John McGivern's Main Street Season 3. To watch the show, check your local listings. It's also available to stream on the free PBS Video App on Roku, Apple TV, and other digital devices, smart TVs, and everywhere you stream TV. John McGivern's Main Streets is produced by Plum Media in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hello, Lois, producer and director of our show, and Emmy, my co-host. We're going to talk about Austin, Minnesota. And the main thing in Austin?
Spam.
Spam! Hormel is who makes Spam.
Yes.
We weren't allowed in. They wouldn't let us into the Spam factory.
Right.
But they certainly let us into the Spam Museum.
Which is top notch. I have to say, I wasn't as disappointed that we didn't get into Hormel because the Spam Museum is not only like world famous, but it's really well done and cool. And you get to eat Spam there.
We did.
Yeah.
They use the word Spam in a lot of the, so what they call Spam?
Oh, the people who do the tours are Spam-bassadors.
Spam-bassadors. What are the treats?
They're Spamtastic.
Spamtastic.
Keep going. Say more things like
That's
that.
the only two I remember. Who else? What else is Spam related? But
I love that
Spamtastic?
our photographer, Brian, his wife was there, as well as his 13-year-old son, who I made eat all of this Spam, and Brian was just looking like, you've got to be kidding me. This kid is eating this Spam?
Right, because he's picky. He's like, he's not going to eat it. And he just kept putting them in his mouth. And Brian's like, wow.
Didn't you guys get to try, was it like the Polynesian Spam? Or there was some sort
Hawaiian.
of flavor? Hawaiian. Okay.
Yeah,
There was-
because
yes.
the biggest seller of Spam in the world is in Hawaii. Hawaii buys more Spam than anywhere. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
And all the different flavors are just crazy that come out of Spam. I didn't realize how many flavors there are.
Like, are
of
we
Spam.
talking like 12
Maple.
flavors? How many? Like
More than-
lots.
Yes, like lots and lots. And they do different flavors all the time. They try new recipes and you know,
That day
kind
they
of
were
stuff.
serving waffles and maple syruped
Yeah,
Spam.
yeah.
That's what they were giving out sample wise.
'Cause every day they have
I
a
went back
different
there
Spam.
for lunch, just you know.
And it was Spamtastic.
And the quality of the actual museum
Right.
was,
Do you remember Savile?
I do. And her history was where she came from to end up at this job.
Yeah.
Was great. You don't remember? Yeah, she was quite a businesswoman who was a CEO of some company and then made her way to Austin and worked for Hormel, and Hormel then assigned her to this project and she kind of takes responsibility for what it's become, and it's become kind of well known.
Well, the Hormel story in itself is Austin, right? That's Austin, Minnesota. And my favorite trivia is that everybody who works for Hormel's calls it Hormel.
Hormel.
Right,
Because
that's
the
right.
family name is Hormel, not
Hormel.
Hormel. Hormel was a marketing tactic to make it sound fancier. So Hormel is the company and Hormel is the family. But the people who all work there say they work for Hormel's.
Hormel, because it sounded too German, didn't
Right.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you
Hormel.
know
Yeah.
who's a local and who's not.
Hormel.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, and it also brought that whole family kind of attitude to the company. But we went to the former
Institute.
home. Well, do you remember the house?
The house, sure.
Yeah, we went to tour the family's house, and it's always really cool to see. It's right there. I mean, it's close to downtown. You're like,
Is it a farm?
And in the back
No.
parlor,
No.
the the women were playing cards. They're local women who they have a card club in that
I would have
Hormel
sat
house.
right down and started playing with them.
That's really true. That's
So
really
we went to the
true.
museum, we went to the house, and we went to the Institute. And talk
Right,
about
now
the
the Institute is different than the company. It's really close to where the factory is, though, right? I mean, where the headquarters is, Hormel's company headquarters is there, and just down, like the next building over, if you will, is the Institute. And what they research there, they are a very well-known cancer research center on par with, we're talking Mayo Clinic, we're talking super medicine. And I think when you think about, the Hormel Institute, you think they're probably doing like food science.
They're not.
But it started around food and how it affects you and the things that are in it. And so this research institute is like world renowned.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it was
That's
cool to
next
get in there.
level.
They had a microscope to show us that they couldn't have been more excited about. Now you have to realize that I'm shooting television, and this microscope is the size of a room.
Well, when they said, was it Dr. Clark that we're talking to? Was that his name? Dr. Clark said, I'd like to show you a microscope. And I was just like, okay, we're going to see a microscope. Who hasn't seen a microscope? And when we went to this viewing of the microscope was a huge plate glass window because you couldn't go into the room. And behind that window was this thing that looked like the size of like a dump truck. It was like, wait, that's the microscope. I was like,
And of course, you just see anything move on it. It's just a big block, and we're like,
Right.
okay, this is they kept saying, this is so exciting. And I kept thinking, how am I going to make this exciting? I can't even see
What
it
was
move.
exciting is that we got to go behind the
Right.
room, and there were 3 research doctors with whatever images
It looks
they were
like
looking at.
It looks like NASA's Master Control Center,
Did.
right? Yeah.
And they were studying and talking, and I just left there going, I am an idiot. I am as dumb as the day is long in the middle of June, which is the longest.
Which is why we make television and not try to cure cancer.
Oh my Lord! This is what they're doing. They're changing people's lives.
It is a bit shaming when you come out and you go, and look at us, you guys.
And then
We're
back to our
complaining that
dull
it's hot.
lives.
Exactly.
Good for them. Good for
Yeah,
them.
but Hormel really kind of has the stamp on that town, on Austin. It's one
They
of
do.
those. It's one of those stories that this family kind of laid the groundwork there. But one of the things that's happened in Austin is that they now have a very big Latino population, and it's not even just Latino. I mean, it's really Oaxacan Mexico. This is where it comes from, Oaxaca, Mexico.
Which is like a
like a state? Is it like a state
Right,
or
it
a
is. Yeah.
community, right?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
a
a state.
state
Yeah.
in Mexico. And somebody came from there, right? And got a job and figured it out, and then they brought their relatives, and now there's a very big Oaxacan population there.
Yeah,
I'm not making that up, am I? Do you remember that?
completely.
Yeah, because
Completely.
because I remember thinking, the stat that I have in my head is it's the largest concentration of Oaxacan Mexican people.
Outside of Oaxaca.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't make that up, did
No.
I? Okay, good. Yeah.
Unless they lied to us. But that's what we were told.
If both
Right.
of you agree, it must be true.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, you just don't, and you're in Austin, Minnesota.
Not Texas. We kept
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, it was really
And
interesting.
Spam is not the only meat that they eat there. Because we went to the meat market, which, again, it was one of those meat markets that
Yes.
reminds anybody who grew up around going to a meat market of that place. You know, and I'm
It's a
old,
step
and we used
back.
to go to
I
that.
mean, you walked in there and, well, yeah, we're old, but can I tell you, that's how it looked
Yeah.
in 1920.
I'm guessing no thrills, no frills, just basic.
Well,
But I don't know, basic is the right word. Vintage is the right word, maybe.
right.
traditional.
Throwback to
Yeah.
what it was. Just two big, display of their meats, and then there's a little bit of grocery over here,
Right.
and then some artwork, which was like, wait, hold a second. What's with the artwork? Well, the guy does art. And I was like, well, how much is that? That's $700. I'm like, I think I'll just have a couple brats.
But the time that we were there shooting, during that time, when people come in to that meat market, the first thing they do is look for a person. And that's different than you see in most grocery stores and whatnot, right? It's relationship. They come in and they go, what do you have for this today? Oh, I got this. I mean, it's such a personal relationship that they have with their people. That is really cool. And of course, in the back room is where they do it all. They make it all right there.
Yeah.
Grind up the meat and make the stuff. And,
Right.
But I was the most excited about that because when we went for the site survey, Emily Annunziata was the producer on this, the content producer on the show, and she said, let's go into this old meat market. We went in there and said, well, what are you known for? And they said, oh, well, our beef jerky is like the best beef jerky in the world. And we're like, okay, we'll try it. It's
Good
the
beef jerky.
best beef jerky in the world.
I love jerky.
I couldn't wait to go back for the shoot, and I brought home because you can freeze it. Did you know?
No.
You can freeze jerky?
Yeah, you can freeze it. And I'm like, oh, this is the best.
Smart to bring some home. Who
It's
knew?
that big chewy. It's not like overcooked. It's like that chewy,
Right.
and it's like in strips
The
that are
chew's
like,
a good one.
oh my
Yeah,
God, it's
not
like
too tough, not too stringy. It was good.
it was really good.
Yeah.
And that's a father, and no, it's not his son.
No.
But
Nowers, it's called.
Yeah.
And the Nowers really kind of started it. So it was
Yeah.
the guy who then they brought in this young kid, how many years ago? And now he's running the place.
Right.
He'll take it over someday.
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yum. Well, I hope so, because I want to get up there and get more jerky.
Oh, it was so good.
And we went to, remember Tender Maid?
Yeah, that's another. Okay, I don't know what this was with this season.
A lot
It's
of
like
meat.
Loose meat.
Loose meat.
It's a lot of loose meat this season. I'm saying to my producers, they produce these episodes months and months and months in advance where we're looking for content. So, we're in January and February looking for stuff that we're going to shoot in the summer. And so I know Emily found Tender Maid, and then there was also another one with Maid in it. Do you remember Made Right? There's other loose meat in this season. I will tell you
In
that.
a different show.
Yeah,
Yes,
but in Milwaukee,
Springfield.
we kind of don't have it, so it always feels unique. But this Tender Maid is a mom and her daughter, right? It wasn't her daughter, or their
That wasn't her daughter. That was her employee.
That was her
There's
employee.
only 2 people who work there at
Oh,
a
yeah.
time because that's all that fits in the hut. What's this
Pretty
little guy
wonderful.
right here?
So this is our
your
bun
bun
warmer.
warmer?
That warms our buns.
It's a room of loose meat. Look at this. It's like a
Look
little.
at that steam. This is the original cooker that was built in 1938.
And that's a great COVID story too, because what she discovered was when you go into this little Tender Maid, it had one like U-shaped counter, okay, where people could sit at the counter all the way around, and then you could take stuff to go. Well, during COVID, they said nobody can sit in here, so they roped the counter off. You come in one door, you shuffle down the the counter line, if you will. You shuffle down, you get your order, you get your stuff, you go out the door. She said that during COVID, they learned they could sell 4 times more product by having their business model that way than having people sit down. And can I tell you, they
Not
sell
a person has sat in that place since.
it. Yeah.
Oh, they don't do it that way anymore.
No, they don't sit. You don't sit there anymore. It's
No.
walk in the door, shuffle down, take your stuff to go.
It's
Now
all to
they
go.
do have
Why
like
would you go
tables
back?
outside. They do have tables outside.
Wow.
But that's another day we were there and it was 110.
Right.
just what you want on a nice hot day is some loose meat. And is it the same as like it's just ground up
it's ground meat.
hamburger meat?
Yes.
It's
Put on a-
sloppy Joe without the sloppy.
Right. And then do you
I've
top
never
it
heard
with
that
something?
before. You put onions on it. You might put
Pickles.
cheese on it. Yep, pickles.
And
Cheese.
how do you eat that neatly?
You don't.
Okay.
They wrap it up, you take it home, and then you end up eating you have to take a fork to the end because you're dropping a lot of it
Right.
out.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost like throw that in a tortilla and give me a cellophane wrap,
Oh,
like
there
a
we go.
Chipotle style, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, but it sounds delicious.
It's delicious, and what a business model. It's like you come in and
That
people say,
and
I want
malts
4.
is what they serve.
and malts.
malt.
Yeah.
Chocolate malt.
You got to make it, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Yeah, of course you did.
And I got to make the sandwich too, and she was like, "Put some more meat on there." I'm like, "Okay."
They're not the kind of place where they're weighing it to make sure.
No.
Oh, yum.
Austin, Minnesota. I would go back. Wouldn't you guys go back? I would go back
I
to
would go
to
back.
the Spam Museum again, and
And take somebody with you because it's a fun family thing.
Yeah,
it's
it
a fun
is.
group thing.
Yeah.
And the experience of it is really cool. And while you're there, go to the J. Hormel Nature Center. I know you guys, maybe that wasn't your top remembrance thing, but what an awesome trail. And I have someone who could use that track chair, Emmy, that you
Right.
got to ride in. It's like this, it's got like these triangle treads, I'm gonna call it. It goes absolutely everywhere.
Right.
So you can, if you're wheelchair confined, or if it's just easier for you, if you
Right.
can't, and they're free. Right? You go,
Free.
you sign up, and you say, okay, I'm going to take this out for the next hour or two. And the trails are gorgeous.
Remember the bridges we went over? I mean, I was having so much fun. Brian's like, we need that shot again. I'm like, just a second, I just got to turn my chair around.
Yeah, it was really
beautiful.
fun.
And it is so nice when they're able to make that accessible to everyone.
And Jay Hormel, or I'm sorry,
Hormel.
sorry, Jay Hormel started that nature center himself by planting trees because he wanted it to be more of a forest. And that's a commitment. That's a commitment to where you live. And now that nature center shared with the whole community. It's just a wonderful place.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful place. This week, you guys, we're going to shout out to John Colano from Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Marshfield.
Yeah, we did Marshfield for Around the Corner many years ago and loved it.
Yeah,
loved
we
it.
did. Yeah.
John, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Continue to be a fan. We appreciate that.
Thanks, John. Austin, Minnesota. To
and
you.
thanks, Austin. Wonderful time.
Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production, so come on, go shopping at mainstreets.tv.